and then it comes out, and that's where babies come from. That's how they're made.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy, because when I was a kid, I actually, honestly believed that babies were made just by kissing girls. So I avoided them at, all costs, because I was like, if we hug and kiss, I'm a dad. I'm in second grade. I got my whole life ahead of me.
I was gonna say that's very. I feel sorry for your school.
Whoa, what's up, everybody? How we doing, guys? I'm Mini 80.
I'm Chief, baby.
And welcome back to ADHDads. We are episode 3.
3.
Yeah, month
Look
of
at us.
February, huh?
Consistency.
Dude, I honestly think, though, that every other week is really good. You know what I'm saying? Because it gives us that time to...
It's a lot easier.
Yes.
Because, I think before, when you think about it, even if you watch, podcasts, they don't really go by year or whatever, but I think of it like a movie show, or like a TV show, or like a movie or something, where it's like a series, or like a season, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And when we figure it's 52 episodes, you try to do it every week, holy shit.
Well, not only that, just trying to coordinate getting together every week to record. And then it'd be just random week. No, we didn't have one this week.
Yeah, or you get sick, or, you know.
So I'm digging the every other week. Honestly, it's like a...
In 26 episodes.
I feel like that's excellent season.
That's perfect. That's a great...
But yeah, no, it was great, man. How was your week been?
This week has been... Well, it's been pretty nuts the last couple of weeks, actually. So we all had influenza in, the fall right before holidays. So, we made it through all holidays. Nobody's sick. It was great. We kept the baby safe. He didn't get sick at all. And then he got it. And so, yeah, my... I just gotta tell you, you got a sister too, and siblings, and
oh, I do.
I mean, I love my sister, I love my niece, I love everything, but she had a day planned out for Mel and I and her and my brother-in-law, and we were gonna go bowling. It's all right, sounds fun. We'll have my mom and dad watch their kids, no big deal, great, good plan. My dad gets off the phone. And he heard my niece coughing, or kind of raspy in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And this is he ends the phone call as we're there, and he goes, "Oh, that was Casey. Carly sounds like she's pretty sick." And I was like, "Okay." And then I'm looking at the thing. I'm like, "Okay, well, she's gonna be here, in 60 seconds." And he goes, "I'm just saying. I mean, if your kid was sick, she probably wouldn't bring her kid." I'm like, "Dad, we have plans. I think she'll kill me if I just cancel 30 seconds before she walks in."
Yeah, right.
And he was just like, "I'm just telling you." Just like he could just do it. He's like, "I said my piece," and then he could just walk away from the whole thing like it's not his fault. I was like, "All right." So I look at Mel. I'm like, "What do you think?" She goes, "They're gonna be here in 10 seconds now." I'm like, "Make a call." She's like, "Who cares?" I'm like, "All right." So we go, we have fun, we come back. She had a little bit of more of a wheezing fit. And then they ended up going to the urgent care just to make sure she was all right, because it felt like she was having trouble breathing. And we're like, "Oh, that sucks." So I asked my dad, I'm like, "So did they share toys?" Because they do all the time. "Did they share toys, sippy cups, and everything?" He's like, "Nope, we did. Kept them away. Didn't even look at each other." I'm like, "I don't believe you at all. That's ridiculous." And then, he, by Monday night, didn't feel good. Tuesday morning, feeling like shit. And I'm like, "You got to be kidding me." And then sure enough, we get to, I stayed home. Mel stayed home 2 days. I stayed home 2 days. And then it gets to, last Saturday. And, I think it was last Friday or whatever. We went to the hospital. Same thing, because he felt like he wasn't breathing properly. Checked him out. He's good. He had influenza A. She had gotten influenza A. He has influenza A. Nobody else has influenza A.
But they didn't share sippy cups, or...
Nope.
Didn't even look at each other.
So then... My sister was like, "So how's he doing?" I said, "Well, he's got influenza A." Yeah. And she goes, "Yeah, oh, I'm so sorry." Thinking "I'm sorry my kid got your kid sick." And she goes, "Yeah, it's really going around this year." But I straight up was like, "Come again?" And she's like, "Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Jax or Arya picked it up from school. Gave it to him." I'm like, "Yep, they're fine." Don't know anybody else that has it. Your daughter, they hung out. He got sick 3 days later. Pretty standard. We've been watching the flu for 100 years plus. we kind of know the way it works.
Something along
And she
those
just
lines.
like she couldn't believe it. And then she was on the phone with Mel, and she was saying how Kevin or my brother-in-law felt bad that he got the kid sick. Which I mean that happens. I've gotten your kid sick.
Yeah,
You know
and
you feel
I've
bad because
always
you're like,
felt,
well,
I'm like, I'm
shit.
sorry,
You know if they
dude.
have
Like,
yeah,
I didn't know.
And she was still like, yeah, I just don't think so though. I think they just picked it up somewhere else.
That was like,
And I'm just like,
I'm trying to think,
that's fine.
what was that? Which party was that or whatever that you guys came over, and we're sitting there, and then next thing you know, we turn around and Ollie's like under a blanket. Was that his birthday party?
Mhm.
And he was under a blanket on the couch
Yeah.
sleeping, and we're
Yeah,
like,
that
what the
was
heck?
his
Like
birthday.
that doesn't. He's never like that, and then he ends up sick for a week.
Yep.
He missed a week of school,
When
and
he
I was
was
like,
sick, and then
I'm sorry, man. Like,
Well, and then well, I think the kids then, because ours got like a cough, but they didn't get it. They didn't get it.
No, we
They
just
didn't
got
get
like
hit,
fever.
like-
It was like a 1 maybe 2 day
Yeah.
thing where it like really took us out,
No.
and
No.
and then but then it was like we were fine. Like we could
Yeah.
function. We didn't feel the best, but we
Yeah.
could like move through life, and that was like you said, you avoided being sick. I feel pretty good. Like I feel like we avoided all the sicknesses, and then we had that party on my birthday, and then literally the next day after my
Yeah.
birthday, I was sick. Ollie got sick on his birthday. Like just about the end of it. So like, yeah, I mean we did pretty good too. I would say
I mean,
hats off to us.
well, like last year, I burned through all of my vacation by March 1st.
Yeah,
Both
within-
the last 2
within
years.
a
in
couple
row.
weeks.
So I've only had to burn 2 of my days.
Do you get vacation based on like hours worked? So does it like
No.
replenish throughout the year? Or is it
No.
like in the books you've worked here this many years, you get this much?
So that's how it is if you start from like square one. But when they hired me a lot more competitively and gave me the vacation parallel to like if I had worked there already like 3 years.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So it was
Okay,
it
nice.
was kind of nice. So but it is like a yearly thing. So once you
Yeah.
get to 5 years, then
And
it like
yeah,
goes
it's
up.
like
You get,
every
like a week or something.
3
yeah.
or 5 years, you get an extra like
Mhm.
couple days or whatever
Yeah.
it is, and okay, that's kind of dumb. I wish companies would do something more of like hey, you're capped at
Mhm.
a week vacation,
Well, I wish
But-
you had sick days.
or
You know,
sick
I
days,
wish you
but
would get like a little allotment of that.
But I was thinking too, like if they had like, okay, you have like a week,
Mhm.
whatever. So you use a day here, day there, and it's like, okay, but after you've worked, 40 hours, maybe you've earned 4 hours worth of or 4 hours worth of vacation, right? So then like, after a month you could earn 2 days back or whatever. So
Yeah.
then you get like an extra day. I think that would be an amazing incentive to have.
And
like,
I already get scheduled for overtime. So like I'm scheduled for like 45 hours a week.
mhm.
So I'm already scheduled for 10 hours of overtime a paycheck, So it's like you wish you could just like peel some of that overtime off. And like you said, just
Yeah.
like accrue like after
like-
if you get 40 hours of overtime or
You
whatever
get, like,
over whatever, you just get an extra day.
Yeah,
Or
or like
something
or
a few
yeah,
days,
something along like every 80 hours work. So every 2 weeks or something, you get like 4 hours banked for vacation, right? So
Sure.
you could take a half day, right?
Yeah.
Or so like every month you're getting 1 day, and
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be really good because then that would give you like a day to be like, hey, I
Mhm.
want a day off. Like I need 1 day. I need
Well, yeah. I mean, and
I think that'd be-
it happens. Like, and it's just, but they got some different rules too. Like if you, because like if you had, let's say you were just sick or whatever, like immediately they take the PTO.
yeah.
So even if you want to be like, I don't want to be paid for today, or if you're taking a day off, you're like, hey, I just want to take unpaid vacation today. They have to take it from your PTO right away.
Yeah,
which
see
kinda
that's
sucks, 'cause-
kind of dumb.
well, and even hours too. Like if it's like, let's say I got sick and I felt bad at like noon, I made it till like 2:00. If you make it till like 2 and you go home, then you don't have to use any vacation.
Oh, so you
But
get
it's
the
only
full
the
day.
last 3 hours.
Yeah.
So as long as you're over
So you
like 2:00.
beat that 50% mark or whatever
Kinda,
it is.
yeah. So it's like, all right, but at the same time, it's like, well, you just gotta go in and like, because my thing too, and maybe I didn't used to be like this. I used to have that little bit harder. Like you show up to work, you never miss a day, and I did for a long time, especially when I managed stuff, and like, just wasn't what it is what it is. I didn't miss work.
Mhm.
I've never taken a whole week off of vacation ever in my life.
No, I think
Not
it's
one time.
It's always been like I've worked 1 or 2 days
Yep,
in the
exactly,
week,
yeah.
taken
You
the
always-
last 3.
I felt I had to put it in.
Yeah, taking
know?
the last 3, maybe taking like 2 days at the front of the other
Yeah.
week, but then always was there to end the other week.
Exactly.
Like so,
Like,
yeah, I
you
was
checked
right
in,
there.
right?
Yep.
Like, and you got guys I work with. They're like, oh, I'm taking 2 weeks off in November. You're like, I don't even know what that's like. I've never been out of a job for more than I think 6 days.
Yeah, me neither.
I was just saying, like, I've never like not worked.
Yeah,
within, like
same.
a week. It's crazy.
Same, me neither.
So But like now though, if I'm sick, I don't give a fuck. I'm like, I'm not going in. Like, I'm not gonna sit there
100%.
and be miserable, get all dressed up in my fucking shit, and sit there at my desk and like cough and sneeze and whatever, just pissing everybody else off. It's a very communicable thing, like area that I work in. There's a lot of people, you know, like we all touch the same papers. It's keys. It's like, you know, I work in a dealership, so, you know, you're getting in other people's cars.
Yeah.
And like you
sharing water bottles, things like that.
Yeah. You know, the tickle session after. It's crazy. But it's just like, I can give that up for a day, work on myself, and I'll just come back better tomorrow. Like, why would I go and just be a pain in everybody's ass all day and then potentially get everybody else sick?
Yeah.
Like,
no, sickness
and maybe
sucks,
you just think this way because of COVID. Like, that kind of fucked everything up. And I was never like, I mean, I still just went to work. I didn't really care.
Right.
But there was a lot of people that work there that, like, I guess they offered for, like, the dealership. They offered, like, if you were really nervous about working, you basically could take short-term disability, get paid 60%, and take off for, like, 3 months. And my manager did that. He just fucking didn't come in.
Some people can live on 60%.
And
you know?
I mean, it's not like, I mean, and I don't know his history or his health history or whatever, but he's just a bigger guy with diabetes. He's not like he's not incredibly like sick or like, I mean maybe, I don't know. But I heard that, I'm like, that makes sense. But like everybody else there is just so like,
oh my god.
And I'm like, it's fucking wash your hands. I don't know. Don't make out with anybody. Don't touch anybody's butt. It's fine. Like, it just annoys the shit out of me when. Anyway. Yeah, so I had to take vacation off. Got the kids back to health. Everybody's good to go. So we couldn't make it last weekend, but yeah, what's new with you? How's your
Dude, it's been good, man. Working out, not working, guys. I mean, stay-at-home dad job, you know, I'm always working, but
a stay-at-home parent is the hardest job.
It truly is.
It truly is.
And it's the
that's
most
what, like,
thankless
Oprah and all
job.
the women keep
most
saying.
thankless job, let me tell you. They're right.
Hey, me too. Remember that thing?
Hashtag.
No,
it's been good, dude. Just working out with like wrestling and been getting on my treadmill. You know, I finally set that up.
Nice.
Been running on that. I think we did a little workout session. We were on a video call on Discord, and
that was fun.
I was just sitting there, and he's like, yeah, man, it's going good, and like watching him play a game as I'm like sprinting on a treadmill for 30 minutes, you know. And so we've been kind of doing some of that. My brother gave me his Crunchyroll login, so I've been watching anime as I run. I'll go like,
nice.
For this full episode, we're gonna run, you know, until it's over, and we see where we're at. And
it's probably the easiest to do too.
It's definitely easier
so much
to do,
easier.
Especially like because I only watch dubbed animes. I cannot watch subbed. I can't read very well, right? I'm not a strong reader, right?
No, he's not.
Oliver's probably a stronger reader than I am.
It's pretty funny to witness.
But I'm really quick with math and numbers. I can like spout those off. But no, he so you just watch the cartoon, and there's, you know, as long as you can hear what's going on, essentially you can kind of like peek at it and know. And so I've been doing that.
The fact that you know it's 30 minutes too, like, because
I
hate running
5
anyway.
minutes or whatever, and it's like, okay, from the time the credits start until the time the credits roll, and I see next time on, you know, then I'm done. No, I always go through you know, I gotta like, that's my cooldown. I walk during the credits or whatever. But yeah, dude, I'm actually a little sad. You know, I had a kind of tough week. I came down the other day and noticed that, for any of those who don't know, I've been growing pepper plants since like last June.
Oh, are they dead?
No. So what happened was Mavis was playing around over there, and she was throwing around a stuffed animal, and it landed up and went and like snapped the biggest one in half and broke off like all the little branches. And I looked, I was like, why is there like, and it wasn't just a leaf on the ground, it was like a plump like green leaf. I'm like, okay, this is like one of the good, like this thing isn't just falling off. And then when I went and looked, it was like you saw the snapped like things, and like I was like really kind of upset about it. Like I've been growing those things for like 9 months now, you know, like 8-9 months. Like I mean, like I've been on it, right? Like I feel like kind of a mad scientist. Like I'm keeping like peppers alive in the winter of Minnesota, like
which is, I mean, absolutely.
Like,
so I mean,
I feel like good about it, but and then so when I asked, Ollie was like, I don't know what happened. I was talking to May, and she was like, well, I didn't do it. And I'm like, well, did you throw a ball in there? And she was like, well, no. And I was like, well, was it an accident? She goes, yeah, it was an accident. I didn't mean to do it. And I was like, okay, so like, did you throw a ball?
But
No,
you did
it
it.
was my stuff. And then so she explained the story to me. And like, so like, I couldn't be mad at her because I did get her to tell me the truth, right? And like, I was like, okay, like, thank you, but like, they'll be fine. And she's like, don't worry, Daddy. They're going to grow into big. There'll be baby peppers and they're going to grow really big. And I promise it's going to be okay. And like, trying to comfort me and like, but so
It's
yeah,
like
so
you just know.
like the
You know,
biggest,
you're like,
yeah, like
they're
looking
dead.
at it, the biggest one, it's like, give it like a week. It's going to start browning. Like,
Oh yeah.
I'll try to keep it
still- yeah,
alive,
they're
you know.
dead. Yeah,
I've seen some things where they do like you put a little honey on there and like you can wrap it and like
oh yeah,
like
but
reattach.
I mean,
And I'm like, I'm
yeah.
not like that's some mad scientist stuff. I'm
I
not trying to
mean,
like.
The only thing I would say is if you were to try to lay it down, like try to put it together the best you can, just get it so it meets, and then bury that in the ground.
Yeah,
and then lay it on its
I've
side.
seen that too, and then
It
you can
might
get like
sprout, yeah, it might
come
sprout
from
more,
that
more
because it
things
was like
out.
it was the big one, like
Yeah.
the one big one that towered over all of them, and I was just like, oh, and it had like 7 or 8 flowers on it that were like budding into like, and I was like, oh man. Gosh, I don't know why it like actually upset me. Like I was legitimately sad the other night, and I was like, "All right, we're just gonna go to bed. Like, come on!" And like put the kids to bed. And I just sat in bed, just like, shed one tear for the pepper plant.
Jesus.
But yeah, no. But other than that, it's been pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Nothing like too crazy.
What you said about getting into shape, that's what Mel and I were just. I'm sick of.
Dude, round is a shape. You're doing great.
I know. I'm just getting sick of like. I'm just tired of like. Because this has been a discovery for me. I mean, I've wanted not to believe it, but then I put it out there, and now I can't unsee it. So it's like.
Uh-oh.
It's just bothering me.
What did you see?
Well, Mel also has severe ADHD, but she's about 10 years behind me. So.
You cradle robber.
No. I'm saying, well, she's 5 years younger than me, but I'm saying like she's 10 years like behind me developmentally. So I've dealt with it my entire life and have had like a very hard time. Like there's things that like all those books are like, oh, they do this. You're like, yeah, fucking check. Yeah, every fucking one of them all the time. And I just like it's so frustrating for people who actually have it and like the struggle, like when you sit there and you can't get it done. And like you're like you should. And like your dad would just be like, I just sit the fuck down and fucking do it. And you're like, cool, but like my body doesn't move to do it, and like it's really frustrating. And so then I'm starting to catch all these like things. Like I've been working on myself and getting better and better and better, and then I'm looking at her and like today I took a picture, like I sent her this picture. I'll show you real quick and I'll describe it here, but it's basically this is before we left to go to the thing. So this is her side.
Oh, wrong picture.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
So this is my. Oh, that's my cock and balls. No, I'm just kidding. So mine is the left side. Hers is the right side.
Okay.
And I just go, this is what I'm talking about. How the fuck? So we have a dresser that's got 3 drawers on one side, 3 drawers on the other. And
standard
I'm on
dresser.
the left, she's on the right. And all from the bottom drawer all the way to the top drawer, they're all open. And I'm like, why? I mean, if you need some on the bottom, open it, grab it, shut it. And I understand leaving one open, right? Like if you just like, oh, I got to grab something quick, you forgot to push
And
it back
doesn't
in.
shut all the way.
That's right.
so-
Or yeah, something you just forgot quick, whatever. But all fucking 3? I'm like, the bottom 2 are obsolete if you got the top one open. Like what are you gonna do? You got to push. Or like just finding stuff out. Like I don't understand that. I'm like, why don't you just shut them? And she's like, she goes, I pulled one from each drawer. I pulled something from each drawer. And I go, oh, I fucking got that. Because if you weren't and you opened them up and left them open anyway, you'd be fucking insane.
Dude, well,
and I'm going to be admitting you to someone.
I yell at Ollie for that too because his dresser
He's
isn't,
a child.
Yeah, but the thing is like his dresser isn't mounted to the wall. So I'm like, if those bottom drawers are empty and top drawers are full of clothes and you leave them open, it's going to tip. Like you are on carpet. It doesn't just.
The only reason I didn't say that to her, because that's what I thought too, because that's happened to me. We have the giant mirror on the back so it won't tip.
Oh.
But at the same time, I'm like, but I'm like, that's exactly what I thought. I'm like, you don't do that because of things I've experienced. You don't do that. Put it away. Or like, and I showed her this TikToker that said, so the biggest thing that's helped her is don't put it down, put it away. So if you go and grab the ketchup, don't put it on the fucking counter. If nobody else is going to have any ketchup, don't put it down. Go put it back in the fridge.
Yep.
If you're going to do that, just do it. Mm-hmm. And I force myself. Now it's a habit for me. which is nice because then like I don't have shit laying everywhere. But like I'll come home at lunch after she made breakfast and stuff for everybody, and like everybody goes to work and school, and I come home for lunch to have my lunch, and I look and I didn't notice it when I left, but I just see, oh, there's raspberries out, there's blueberries, there's a half cut banana, there's the cutting board with still remnants of stuff on it. We have 2 dogs, so that's not something I want to have left out. And then there'll be like the milk will be on the counter. I'm like, holy shit, did you not just, we all good in here? Like, did you not like, all right, last check, and all right, I'm going to leave for 8 hours before I come back here. Is there anything perishable we could take care of while I'm here? No. So then I mentioned that I finally like, because I didn't want to say it because I've noticed this behavior, and I finally go, Mel, I got something to tell you, and I don't know if you realized it, but I didn't want to shatter the glass with us, but pretty sure you have ADHD too, and it's worse than mine. And she goes, oh yeah, I know that. I cannot describe the rage that I had immediately, because I'm like, here I am struggling and being made fun of. I get made fun of quite a bit by her and like the rest of my family for being, oh, you're ADHD, you fucking nuts. Get all that? No, she's been part of the ridicule because I'm the one with the title, but now she has it and she's not worked on herself at all to try to figure it out. And I'm like, here I am
because you're figuring
having issues, and I'm like trying to battle these demons every day. And here she has them too, and she's just fucking playing with them.
See, that's the problem though, is because
like,
you say you're trying to figure it out. You're figuring it out for you and her, right? So it solves both of yours, so she doesn't have to worry about it.
But that's like saying like, all right, so the scientist figured out how to solve the mystery of life, and that's great, and he's selling tickets. But if you don't go, you'll never fucking know that, and she ain't buying a ticket.
Yeah, but like that's the thing. You're buying the ticket.
No,
and you're gonna tell her.
Yeah, I'm buying the ticket, taking the class, but that doesn't make. I mean, that'll make me better.
Yeah, and you're.
But
gonna
then she doesn't. No, but she doesn't care to listen at all.
That's what I'm saying.
Even if I go, hey, this is what I do. Insert blank idea, whatever. And she just goes, cool. And then the next day, does the same thing. I go, we just talked about this. I'm like, how the fuck? Like, I can't, because then I see that and then I shut down. Because then I don't want to do it. If she's not going to do it, I'm not going to do it. So, like, I'm like, I need your support. Because I thought she was the normal one. And, like, this was just easy for her. Life was easy. No.
Yeah, dude, no, I've definitely had my moments. Not that my wife has ADHD, but you could definitely tell, like, Ollie, 100%, like, can't sit still. Like, his brain is going a million miles a minute. And by the time you finish the sentence of, like, why did you do this? He's already 3 steps ahead. Like, oh, but, like, did you know that bears hibernate in the winter and you're like, why? What? You know, so, like, yeah, so I've definitely, like, been in those shoes to where I just get frustrated. And my thing, like, the way I deal with it, I'll turn around and be like, yo, Oliver, can you take care of this? And he's doing something. I'm like, cool, great talk. And I just walk away.
Yeah.
And then Brianne's like, your father's talking to you. Yeah, but, like, if you connect a magnet tile like this to this, and I'm just like, all right, cool. It's your problem now. I said my piece. I'm out. And
I really do I try to do a good job at, like, when they do that. Like, because my dad would be like, walk away from me. Like, I'm done with this conversation. Like, he'd be very more direct with it. And I'm trying not to be necessarily, like, maybe that harsh a little bit. Because I was the kid, definitely had the ideas. My brother and sister, I mean, they definitely had ideas too, but they were fine with not sharing them. They were just fine with hanging out, and, you know. But I was like, can I teach you something? Can I teach you something? Can I teach you something? You know, I was like, I had a lot of questions. But I was just always met with that. So then I'll go, you know, if we're talking, I mean, we could have a conversation. Ari's like, Dad. You know, it's the whole thing. And I go, what? Go. And she goes, did you know blah, blah, blah? I go, awesome. Thank you. That it? She goes, yep. And then just walks away. I go, so it's like, it's a little bit better, but it's just like, holy shit.
No,
like,
dude.
You cannot.
I've been realizing a lot more too. Like, the one thing that really gets me like off my rocker is, like, the noise. Like I get too much, like, sensory overload. If I'm, like, watching something, but I'm playing a game, like, that's fine. Or I'm listening to music and I'm playing a game. But then, like, then you get Ollie sitting behind me and he's talking. Okay, I can kind of tolerate that. But then you get Mavis over here, hey, daddy. And then this, and then that TV, and this sound, and that sound. And next thing you know, everything's off. And I'm just like, everybody quit. And then I try not to get mad, but it just, like, I just can't not get mad at too much sound. You know? It's like, it's just ridiculous, man. It's just like, but then, like, it can be peaceful and quiet. And then I sit here quietly and I'm like, it's like, peaceful. But then I feel bad because I'm like, man, like maybe I was harsh. And then you start rethinking like the way I reacted in that moment, and I'm just like, dang, you know.
I mean, I don't mind. Like for me, like I like noise. I don't mind because like for me when I'm like as long as I can hear all the kids and if they're all like talking normal or having conversation, it's fine. I don't care about that. It's when a kid is screaming or something incredibly mundane like Miss Rachel is on. And it's just, hi, good job, yay. And I'm like, I'm not.
You're freaking the dog out.
I'm like, no, I'm not. Turn it off now. But yeah, I mean, it's so quick. It's crazy how quick you get, like how quick you lose it. I mean, it could be like one scream from a kid. And like, I just like, I mean, it just takes over and you're like, shut up. You fucking like lose it. Yeah. And like, but like, I could sit there and Mel's like, you understand though, like that's one kid, that's one noise. And I'm like, yeah. So?
Yeah, but there's certain,
but then I'll
something about certain noises.
But I'll have music on that's like, and I'm just like in it and I'm like, this is fine. We're good. And then Mel will be like, would you turn that off? I can't even think right now.
Dude.
And I'm like, it's one,
thing.
it's one.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, but it's a lot. It's a lot of just, it's very stimulating. I'm like, yeah. Why do you think I haven't been so calm this whole time? But then, yeah, the second though, like Arya just runs down the hallway. Do.
And you're like,
holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, could you just, everybody crawl. Everybody crawls for a week just so you can learn how to not make noise. It's crazy.
Dude, you want to hear a funny story?
I'd love to hear.
So one thing that really bugs me, and we've definitely talked about this before.
Oh, I'm sure.
Maybe like season 1, maybe one of the like 5 episodes of season 2, but like slamming car doors. Mm-hmm. Right? It cannot do it. I got in so much trouble slamming car doors as a kid.
Or house doors.
Yeah, slamming any door, right? Door. But for this example specifically, we're going to focus on car doors. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so like slamming a car door, it's just like I cringe a little. I'm like, "Oh my god, 100%. Like did you have to close like
yep.
Like it's a newer car. Like it, you know, I treat it good. You can shut it just like that, you know?" And so when I pick up Ollie from school, we're sitting there, and one of the teachers that brings him over to the car always like, all right, cool, and just whoom, like I mean slams it like I'm driving like, the teacher closes the car and slams it like I'm driving like a 1970 like Ford old school beat up truck that that doesn't close unless you give it, you know, the like throw your body weight into it. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, geez, and the car like shakes a little. I'm like, fuck, like, and so Ollie gets in, and I'm like, god damn, like, I said this without thinking. Not thinking he was listening or whatever, and I'm just like, God, like, does she have to slam the door like every time she closes it? Like, I'm like, holy smokes, dude, like, you don't have to close doors. I'm like, that just real. And Ollie's like,
well, especially when it's somebody else's.
Well, then Ollie said something to me, and I don't remember what it was, but I'm like, it just bugs me, buddy. You don't need to slam the car door. You can close it gently, and it'll still close. So the next day, I pick him up. It was a different teacher bringing him in. So he comes over to the car and throws his backpack in the front window because you roll it down to be like, I'm here for Oliver, and then runs up. He throws his backpack in, and then he goes to climb over his sister and stops because I still haven't switched the car seats around. It's on my to-do list, but it's not high priority on my to-do list.
They're going to be in boosters here soon anyway, so you might as well leave it now.
But, like, yeah, it's not high on my priority list. I'm like, you know, we'll get to it when we get to it. Brienne's car switched, just not mine. I just haven't done it.
That's fair.
And, so he stops as he's crawling over his sister, turns around and goes, hey, can you make sure you close the door really gently? It bothers my dad when you slam it.
That's amazing.
I was like, oh, get in the car.
Oh, that's fucking
And like, I was like laughing because I was just
was
like.
Was it a guy or a girl teacher?
It was a girl teacher.
What'd she do?
She closed it real nicely. But I was just like, oh my God. Like.
Yeah.
And he did that. He's done that now for like 3 or 4 days in a row. Just been like, hey, can you make sure to close the door like 100%. Really nicely? You don't have to slam it to close it. Like, I was like, it just made me think like they were listening to everything we say. Yeah. Everything. The other one, I was driving home, got cut off by someone, then they slow down. Like, they literally, like, weave in front of you and then slow down. And you're like, what the hell? Like, I'm like, God, like, all these idiots, like, can't drive. Just drive. If everyone just drove, like, we want to have this. And we were driving, and there was a cop pulled over, and, like, everyone slams on their brake. But we can't get over because all the lanes are full. It's, like, rush hour traffic. And so, like, they just slow down to drive past the cop slowly. And, like, everyone's just like, what's going on, right? And I'm like, God, all these idiots, like, idiots who can't drive. Like, they're all idiots. And Ollie goes, am I one of those? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, I can't drive, so am I what you're saying. Am I an
That's
idiot?
hilarious.
And I was just like, no, buddy. I was like, these are people who went and got their license and can't drive. They're idiots. And he goes, well, how do they do that? And in my rage, I just turn around and I go, that's a great question. I can't tell you. Like, oh, I was just flustered. It was funny.
Yeah, no, yeah, I just, because that's the other thing too, is like when they're little, I don't think they really comprehend a lot of things. Like you can really yell at them a little bit, and like they're really not picking it up. Because the door slamming thing, my dad, like I said, we probably said this story, probably shared that, but it bothers me too. Like I shudder. I can't take, especially like if the guy owner of the thing did it, it's totally fine.
Yes.
Doesn't bother me at all.
Because then
if you slammed your own car door, great.
But if
I
the
would
owner's
literally
doing
like
it,
I didn't even hear it.
in my head, if the owner's doing it, it's because it needs to be done that way, or there's a reason that's being done that way, right? So he knows it. So if he's going to do it, I'm going to emulate it, right?
But if I see a child do it, if I see anybody else like that, like if a teacher who's like that's, I mean, it's insane. Regardless that it's not her car and she's slamming the door. That's insane,
dude. It's like,
I mean,
like
I
rocks.
just like that's insane to me. But no, when I was little, I see it on TV. That's the thing. They're watching all these like little bit more adult shows. So then the kid, I hate my dad. I hate my life. And then they slam the door. Like to really get it out. Like man. And I mean, I felt that way too. And yeah, I mean, that's quick story. I was helping my dad rake leaves, and we had two big maples. We had a lot of fucking leaves, and made a big pile because we had to get them done. Clearly, Dad had a rough day. I can much more appreciate that now. And he didn't want to be doing that. It was probably a weekday, probably picking up school. I'm fucking full of energy, and he's just like, let's just go outside so I don't have to like listen to you inside. And so I was like helping, and I really like to help. So I was doing all that, and then I'm like, and then I started running in him. Just jumping in the leaves. It's fall. I'm a child. I like to jump in a pile of leaves.
You just lost it.
He's trying to like get work done, and I'm not. And so he just looks. He goes, "If you're not gonna help, you can go inside then." And I was like, So I go on and slam the door, slam the front door, heavy door, slammed it. Went up to my room, like, it's just having fun, like whatever, Listen, hey Jake, come here. We had a split level, so I come to the top of the stairs. He looks. He goes, "You ever slam that door again, I'll break your fingers." And he shut the door, and I went, "Okay." And that's when it started, and I was like 7. So then I did the same thing to Jackson, and straight up he was like, "How are you gonna break my fingers?" And then he started crying. He took it worse than I took it, but he took it. And he went into his room. He's like, "Ah!" Like all scared, and went in his room. And like Mel looks, she goes, "Why would you say that?" I go, "I was told that at the same age."
Dude, that's
not. Like,
I don't
who cares?
understand,
like,
man.
I don't know why. Like what? And she goes, "You can't say stuff like that." I'm like, "It's tough love, whatever. I'm not really gonna break his goddamn fingers. Like that's not gonna happen. It's just like it's a threat. It's something I'm gonna have pain for you."
Brienne hits me with the same thing. Why would you say that? Yeah. It's like, what do you mean? Like I heard the same message growing up. Like I heard, trust me.
So our picky eater deal.
Mm-hmm.
So both my bigs are super picky, and I'm just over it. I'm so over it now. Like earlier, it was like, okay, well we can kind of adapt. Maybe they'll just get to school lunch. Just have a bunch of stuff. They'll just eat it. They'll just eventually get used to it and eat it. Nope. They just don't eat. Jackson will just dump all of the full tray of food into the garbage. And I'm like losing my mind. But they're getting a lot better now. Well, the other night, Mel made salmon. Very good. Roasted in the oven. It was fucking delicious. And she had a piece for them, piece for us. And it's not the first time they've had it. They've had fish, salmon, all the stuff before. And they liked it. For whatever reason, they didn't want to. They sat there for an hour and 10 minutes. Didn't eat it. And I was like, "You're going to eat that. That's what you're eating." And I got so over it. I came out, I took my belt off, and I rolled it up, and I put it on the table between them, grabbed the clock off the wall, and I put it down, and I gave them 15 minutes. And I said, when this big hand gets to the number 10, if you're not done with eating that fish, one of you will bring this to me, whoever's not done, and you will get spanked with the belt. And I just walked away. And I've never spanked my kids with a belt. I got it a lot, but I never did. But I was just like, I'm like, these are the old medieval tools that shaped me. Like they work. They maybe don't like them, but they work.
They're not.
So then I do that, and I go and I sit in my chair. I was like watching something in my room, or whatever, and I'm like, I'm just gonna wait this out. I didn't even turn anything on. I just sat there, watched the clock, and I just waited. Within 6 minutes, Arya was already in there with an empty plate, and Jackson was in 2 minutes later with an empty plate, and I was like, all right, it fucking worked. That was amazing.
Dude.
And like, but like, see, for me, I'm like, well, I really don't want to spank him. Like, I even practiced.
Like on a
before
pillow,
I brought it
spanking a
out.
pillow?
No, I like hit the bed. No, I did. I was like, all right, like, because I've never spanked anybody with it. So I was like whipping my leg. You know, I was whipping my leg to kind of gauge how hard, and like, I'm like, all right, you know, I was like nervous, you know. And then I like put game face on and go out. I throw out the fucking ultimatum, and then they did it. So I was like, good, I don't have to do that. And Mel comes in, she goes, I'm so glad they ate their food. I just don't think I could have let you do it. I'm like, well, I would have had to do it. Just so you
you're
know
a man
that.
of your word.
I would have
Like,
had to do
see,
it.
because that's another life lesson, though,
Absolutely.
too, is like being a man of your word, like holding them accountable, right?
Well,
like,
you
if
have
you
to follow
say,
through as a
I'm going to
parent.
do it, you got to do
Yep.
it, because then that teaches, like,
Yep.
oh, I don't have to do that because I know he's just saying, you know, you
Well, no,
have
exactly.
to follow through.
Because they'll pick up on that immediately. So, like, I mean, great parenting advice. And, you know, we have kids that qualifies us to some extent. I'm not a professor of anything, but you need to follow through with what you said. If you said, if you do that, I'm going to take this away, the second they do it, you take that away. I don't care how much they cry, whine, bitch, moan. It doesn't matter. You have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, like Mel was at basketball practice today. There's a kid doing a fucking eagle scream while the coach is coaching for these first and second graders basketball practice.
Nice.
And the mom is just sitting there. Okay, you don't have to do that anymore. Ah! Just looking at her like, he just gets so silly. It's just Sunday. He had zoomies today. Didn't get a nap in. Whatever. Like, all these fucking excuses. I'm like, and Mel goes, she goes, you need to go next time and you need to coach. Because these kids need, she's like, I'm sorry, but these kids need a male coach. Because it was a woman coach who kind of spoke kind of soft anyway. But there's just no control of the class. But it's all volunteers. So it's like, it's kind of hard to say, hey, can you go watch 60 kids and coach? Nobody really wants to do it. But like, and I don't mind it, but there was other dads when I went. When I went, there was like 5 dads coaching. So I don't have to worry about it.
Right,
so like the last
right.
couple times, I just had Mel do it. I'm like, I got some stuff. I got to prep chicken. I got to get stuff going. Declan was down for a nap already. I'm like, I'll just stay home with them. It's not a big deal. Why don't you just run them up there? Because they don't need my help. So that was
Right.
fine. And of course, the time I don't go, there's no coach. There's no coach at site.
Yeah.
That's all shit.
It's your
But that's
fault.
what I'm saying, though. It's like those parents that just allow that shit. Your kid's going to get the shit kicked out of them, and it's your fault. Just going to say it. Just going to say it.
Oh, man.
By an adult or child. Just saying. But no, anyway. So yeah, let's bring it back down. Blood pressure went up a little bit there. I'm sorry. Got a little
Yeah,
passionate.
no, I get it, dude.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, just like the rule. I mean, just rules of parenting. It's like you try the slamming of doors. Like, it's little things. I'm trying not to be so spastic about it, but there are
just certain
things that
and I
just-
don't know if it's just the way I'm built or it was beaten into me. It's
Well,
probably
I
a little
mean-
of both, but like there's certain things where I'm just like, dude, you don't do that.
Well, you
right?
always
Like,
knew that about like your friends' dads. Like your like boys, I feel observe and understand that stuff. And so like if their dad really went off, it would be like, okay, next time I go to so and so's house, don't touch his dad's whatever, because he will lose his shit. And you're like, okay. And then you just know that you will never touch that for the rest of your life. But you know that. But like when kids don't have rules, it's fucking like they're not in.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody's kid's really smart, but they're also really fucking stupid. So you put them outside if you just left them outside in the summer, not in the summer, for like 5 hours, they'd probably be passed out in the yard, maybe dead. I don't know. I'm just saying, like it's insane. Like these kids, they're not very smart, but I think that's our job. We got to shape them, right? You want to do it better than your dad did before. So you just kind of want to like, all right, man, I'm trying to be patient with you. But you just today, you just felt like you had to go that extra 10
You don't know
minutes,
how
didn't
many
ya?
times I've literally been
Oh
like,
my God.
I've been like, guys, I'm trying to be really nice right now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like
Mm-hmm.
talk you through what needs to get done. And like as I'm doing this, I'm starting to get more angry. My blood pressure's rising. My voice is rising. I'm like, guys, yeah, no, that's a real conversation we've had.
Well, and even like you were saying, like what they pick up, right? What they hear.
And they
And Mel and I, like, it's funny. I think like 2 years into we were married, or 3 years. My dad pulled me aside, and he was like, "Hey, I just want you to know, we kind of listen to the way you talk to Mel, and we just think it's a little aggressive. Like I think it'd be a little nicer to her. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I'm nice to her.
I'm so nice to her.
I'm really nice to her. What are you talking about? I go home. I tell Mel, and she's like, what? Because yeah, they think the way we talk is not good. And she's like, I think you're plenty nice to me. Like she was like, I don't. She's like, what do we say? And I'm like, I don't know.
What do we say? What
It's
do we
just
do?
like how we talk. But that's the other thing though. Is like how we talk. Like, if we spilled something or dropped something, it's like, oh, fucking dumbass. Like, just shit like that. And you're like,
That's your dad.
exactly, yeah. And I'm yelling at myself. I'm not yelling at anybody. And then like, Jackson just from behind a wall, fucking dumbass. And I'm like, dude, don't talk like that. And they're getting pretty good at like knowing when or when not to say it. They don't do it at school, which is great. And so like, and that's fine. I don't care if my kids know they don't know I swear, but like you said, there is certain like phrases and stuff. Or like if Mel and I, because she does the same thing to me. She's like, hey, dumbass, hey, dipshit, pick your shit up. Like, it's okay, fuck you too. Like we're like friends. It's not a big deal.
You're just going through
we
it.
We don't think anything of it. But then you see other people and.
I would never.
Aggressive.
I would never.
I'm
talk
like, you
to
know
you
what?
like that.
You know what, Jennifer? Maybe you should. Maybe you should be told that every once in a while. You know what, Ken? Maybe you fucking suck too, huh? Why don't you pick your stuff up?
Oh,
sorry, that's just me. I'm a little spicy
okay.
today. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, dude. Who pissed in your Cheerios this morning?
Nobody. I didn't even get to eat Cheerios.
I didn't get no damn Cheerios.
I had Subway. It was good.
Dude, every time I have Subway recently, like, runs
Shit
right through me, dude. Like,
Shit
literally,
immediately.
Yep.
Yep.
Dude.
Yep. As soon as we got done, Artie looks at me and goes, I gotta go potty. And then like she went and shit. I go, oh, yeah, cool. And I was walking by and I was gonna go change and then go in. I'm like, immediately U-turned it from my bedroom and go, I'm not gonna make it. And then went right in. That happened today.
Yeah. Nope.
Like,
oh, that's hilarious. That's awesome.
But no, anyway, we've been trying to get better, especially with the kids, trying to get workout done. I got one of those big ass calendars. It's like a big, like 4 foot by 3 foot calendar, and like marks
Is it like
out.
monthly?
Yeah, but they're like in a straight line. So like January is like 1 through 31.
Oh, so it goes
this
the
way,
whole row
and then every
is-
weekend's got is colored for the weekend, and so like it's just and they all different stuff, and they got
that's
notes you
neat.
can do.
That's neat.
So
Okay.
it's kind of a
I was
cool-
thinking like, you're like, yeah, dude, just got an even bigger monthly calendar.
Each day is a fucking. Each
Like-
day is a whole foot by a foot, and you're like, what can I do on Monday?
It is so chaotic. It's just we're getting bigger
Yeah.
and bigger. Like
Oh,
big
dude,
screen
that'd be
TV?
insane.
No.
No.
Big calendar.
Big calendar. Takes up the whole garage. It's crazy.
Okay, I get it.
But
now.
anyway,
Okay, but it's all
but
you.
no,
That's sick.
but yeah,
I like
so
that. That's
we're
cool.
able to like write out like things we got coming up, and for me, I'm trying to get down a workout schedule. I'm trying to get down like dial in the food for the week, because like left to my own devices, as my research has shown for the last almost 37 years, I'm gonna overspend all the time with anything. So for me, I'm like, all right. So I was like trying to keep track of more expenses and budget a little bit better, just for like, all right, what's the least amount for a family of 5 that I could get a week for food? And so we're really dialing it back just to try to see like, okay, we have 5 meals. I need 5 lunch. Well, we need 10 lunches for me and Mel. Sometimes lunches for the kids if they go cold lunch. Otherwise, we need 5 dinners, and that's a week. Just focus on a week.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've been doing a really good job at like barely getting anything and just like saving so much more money.
Yeah.
And able to like, I could buy other shit I want to buy.
Well, I was
but-
telling Brienne that's one thing that
But
really
this
bugs
calendar
me.
really helps.
I was like, that bugs me, man. I feel like we throw away so much food because, like, we'll go
Yeah.
and she'll be like, oh, hey, like, do we have this, and she'll buy all this other food. And it's like, dude, we haven't even finished the food that we got. So now we're only focused on the new food. We just want to eat the new food, and the old food just sits. And then guess what? It's pitched because it's
Yep.
bad. Like, I was like, I hate doing that. I hate wasting food. Like,
I hate wasting.
and I
food.
feel like she almost got mad at me a little bit about it, but I think she also like sees where I'm coming from. Like, okay, like I see we're throwing away food. Like, what are we gonna do differently? We'll stop buying more food.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
not don't buy food, right? We obviously have to buy food, but like,
Yeah.
stop buying.
Yeah,
this
besides,
extra. Let's
like-
finish what we have.
besides like bread, eggs, milk. Besides like those and fruit. Besides those like perishable items and stuff that we kind of go through relatively fast. I'm like, we're not buying anything outside of those for a month. This is what I did like a couple months ago. We're not going to buy anything else because we have cans of beans and tomatoes
and boxes of rice.
Boxes of rice. Holy shit, dude! I got a whole 20-pound bag of rice in there.
Things of oatmeal,
dude,
and so much stuff and like
noodles.
Dude,
I have so many different noodles.
I bought like the 5-pound bag of pancake mix from Costco that I haven't. I was just like, we're gonna use this.
We could live like kings twice. Every day, pancakes like, every fucking day for a month.
But because we have everything else, and it's just so easy, you end up like, oh well, haven't used this in 2 years. Pitch, you know.
It melted, and like in the midst of this, so we were pretty dialed in, and I'm fine with like I marinate chicken. I do chicken and rice, and then I have like like lettuce, yogurt for sour cream, and like some onions or something, right? I just make little taco bowls every day. That's fine. That's what I eat. I'm like, what are you gonna do? She's like, I'll just see what you have. Okay, sounds good. I'll do it Wednesday. This week, she goes, yeah, you got $20. I'm like, for what? She's like, I was gonna get Flanders today. I was like, I open the fridge and I look and see, because I pre-portioned all the meals and all the thing. I go, we got about 3 days worth of food yet to go through. She's like, oh, I know. Some of the girls at school are gonna do it too, so I just wanted to get some. I'm like, okay, well, we can treat ourselves. That's fine. Then the next day, I go, what do you bring for lunch? She's like, I don't know. Probably I don't know, maybe a sandwich or something. And I'm like, I open the fridge again. And I go, the meal you should have ate yesterday is still in there, and the meal that you should eat today is still in there. And she just is like, I just can't eat chicken and rice every day. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. I'm like, that's fine. Then I'll make less chicken. That's okay. But I need to know that. Like, if you're just going along with this, and then I'm like, then I'm paranoid. I'm like, how fucking long has she been doing this then? And is she even eating my meals? Is she just throwing them away when she gets to school?
She's like, "Hey man, I got your meal."
No, is she swinging that Quick Trip on the way to like get a fucking slice of pizza and whatever? I'm like, what the fuck's going on? That's awesome. So I'm like, just tell me what you want this week. And so then I've laid out this whole calendar now, a different calendar, but I laid it out where it's like, okay, the 5 days. What are we doing here, 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 here? Great. So like the kids is nice because it's like chicken nuggets, chicken sticks, chicken patties. We have all those things. So any version of that. Pizza, macaroni and cheese. Dinners that are no fuss, get it done. Mm-hmm. And then occasionally, if we're going to try something new that week, it's like, all right, well, Mel made goulash yesterday. So I'm like, all right, so we got some goulash in there. All right, so that's tomorrow.
Dude, I haven't had goulash since college, man.
Yeah, but it's like, all right, so now that's Monday, Tuesdays dinners for all you guys. All right, so then what are we doing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? Great, we got 3 days. So pizza one day, perfect. Chicken the rest of the week, awesome. Dinner's done. Don't have to worry about it. And it's all easy stuff. Just pop it in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, like, it just makes sense, But it's just when I get there and then they're like, this kid has a hot dog and this one has fucking, like, macaroni and cheese and then this one's eating spaghetti. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are we doing? Well, she really wanted this and he wanted. I go, I don't care.
Yeah.
We're not taking requests. It's not a restaurant.
No, you're eating what's on the table?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
100%. We've gone through that conversation, too. Like, Brienne made some soup the other day. And she doesn't cook often, but she saw this little video for like a soup, like an Italian style kind of soup. It honestly did taste like a sausage pizza. Essentially, it was like it was a soup, and like you ate it, and like it tasted like a sausage pizza, like the way she made it, and it wasn't bad. But I'm not a big
that recipe.
I'm not a big soup person, right? So I'm not like
well,
it's fine.
On. If you are a soup person,
and I'm not,
are you a watery soup person or are you a thick soup?
See, I'm not a soup person at
more
all.
Of a porridge.
Like by
or you don't like any of them.
I will eat it. I will eat soup.
Have you ever had clam chowder?
I mean, I've tried a bite or two of it, but I'm not. Like I said, I'm not a soup person. Like I don't like.
I like thick.
Like soup is okay.
I like thick chili.
Like soup is fine, right? Like my biggest thing with soup is like, what type of bread are you giving me to dip in the soup to eat it?
Sure. Yeah.
Right. Like that's more important to me than the actual soup itself. Yeah. Right. Like what's in it, and I don't know why. I just personally, I'm not like soup is fine. I have nothing against it. It's just not me. But she made it, and I was just like, honestly, like this isn't bad. Like. And I was tasting it and stuff, and I was like, I'd give it probably like a 7.2 out of 10 on my scale. And I'm like, and that's just me. I'm not saying your cooking was bad or anything like that. And I was like, but for me, soup just isn't like, it doesn't hit home. Like,
if I was going to eat soup, I'd eat this one.
Yes.
But I don't eat
But soup. That was my 7.2 rating, right? That was a high rating.
That's
and
fair.
She looked at me and she was like, I'll take that. Like, honestly. I'll take that from you on.
Well, that's
like
what.
that.
Yeah.
I'm just like, and I'm like, but you know me, like I'm not a soup person. Like I'm not like going out of my way. Like I want soup today. When I'm sick, I want soup. I never want soup ever. When I'm sick, when I'm anything, don't want soup. Don't care.
Chicken
for soup.
noodle soup is like the benchmark for like soup you're supposed to eat.
Yes.
I fucking hate it. And Mel, she doesn't cook very often, but when she does, chicken noodle soup is her bread and butter. I'll eat hers.
She makes a
And
mean chicken noodle
she
soup.
does make it pretty good. But
Yeah, no,
otherwise,
it was
I
good.
don't.
Like I said, it was good. I think, and like I said, I look at like, so she had like a bread that she'd cut up and like dipping that in the soup and really absorbing like a lot of the flavors and stuff and really dipping it in, getting the noodles and stuff. And like, it was fine. It was a good soup. But again,
like I like pasta.
I'm not a soup person.
You know,
Yes,
like I like
love
pasta.
I
like
love
all
pasta.
that stuff. But like to have soup, it's just.
I'm just not a soup person.
Nope.
It's just not, it's not my thing. But yeah, no, I don't remember what my point was to that.
She cooked for you. Tried soup for the first time. Talk about meals, budgeting. Tried about eating all the food out of the kitchen.
Yeah, it's not
about,
clicking again. It's one of those
So
like
you don't like throwing food away. You like keeping it. Like don't buy more.
Dude,
we got to do this a lot. This is something that a lot of people do.
I'm skipping on every stone back with you, but like the connection was cut, and I don't remember why I was talking about her soup. But when we watch it back, I'll be like, "Oh, son of."
I mean, sometimes you can like watch. Yeah,
yes.
You'll get to watching it back, and you'll get to that point. And you're like, "Oh,"
and I'll shoot you.
and then no, you'll think about
saying.
saying it again. You're like, "Oh, I should have said this," and then we'll talk more. And you're like, "Oh, I was going to say that, and I didn't." Yep.
But regardless, I don't know. Anyways, oh, that's what it was. It was the kids didn't like what was on the table. They didn't want to eat what was in front of them. So
I knew we were gonna get there.
Brienne had made the soup, so we all ate the soup, and Ollie tried it, and he was like, kind of like, and like, I just wish like, and it will come in time, but I need that kid to be confident. I need him to just like, fucking, you don't like it, say, I don't like this. You're not going to hurt my feelings. It is okay because it's new. Like, it's not something like, it's not like we've been feeding it to him for 6 years now. And he finally turned around and was like, guys, I've never liked this meal, but I eat it because, like, no. Like,
dude, I did too. I did that as a child.
Yeah.
You think I like pork chops and sauerkraut?
Like,
it stinks. It's the worst thing. And my mom would make it all the time. And she just can't cook it right. It's dry as shit. You know what? I had to sit there while they shovel a giant fucking pile of sauerkraut, and I had to eat it.
Yeah, ours applesauce and pork chops. Like, I love my mom, but she didn't cook good pork chops. They were dry. Like, the chicken was always kind of dry.
Sauerkraut and pork chops. That was my meal.
But no. So I want him to tell me like, hey, like, love you, mom. If you listen to this, no hate. I'll eat your chicken.
I ate it.
I'll eat the chicken and rice, but that's I think mine's better. Anyways,
yeah.
But I just want him to tell me I don't like it. Just say I don't like it. It's fine. We're not gonna get mad. Like, it's fine. Then we know, like, hey, next time we just won't cook this for the family because you don't like. It's okay. We can like exclude things, right? And so he just like forces himself to eat it, and you could tell he's struggling, man.
It's going in. Like, I'm so proud of him. If he
so
does
the next. Well, my kids have never been.
No,
like, they will always just eat it, and then they'll be like, instead of just being like, I don't like it, be like, well, I mean, like, it wasn't my favorite. I would probably rather have like hot dogs for dinner than that, and he like tried to suggest it, and I don't know.
Yeah,
where
and
he
I'd
got
like to
this
wake
from.
up with blowjobs every morning. But you know what? You know what? You know what, Ollie? Sometimes it doesn't work out that way,
But I mean, like,
Jesus.
no, I don't know where he got this like way of saying it to like, hey, I know you really tried. Like, I'm not a fan of that. I would rather eat this. But like, he just won't say, hey, I don't like it. Just tell me you don't like it. It's fine. And so Brienne had heated it up the next day. Like, everybody was eating it, and Ollie's just like, I just really wanted like mac and cheese or something. And Brienne's like, no, you're eating this. It's in front of you. And he's like, and he's just upset. I'm like, it just makes me mad. I just wish he would tell me. And I think that's where I was going with it. But Brienne told him, like, hey, this is what's for dinner. You're eating this or you're not eating. He ate the food and was just like, okay.
That's good.
And put the bowl in the sink and walked away like,
Yeah.
I ate it. That's it. I don't have to eat it again, kind of thing. And again, I just wanted to be confident,
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well,
anyways,
let's see. I got some new stuff though. I know we're
circle back. Oh, you got new stuff.
Yeah.
So we're about hitting time, but I guess we can bonus segment.
Well, like, it was so funny. We sat down and I'm like, yeah, I got some shit I want to talk about. And like, just new stuff.
I thought that was everything you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, no, that was none of it. I didn't want to talk about any of that. Like that. Well, that wasn't in my brain.
I didn't want to talk about any of that stuff. It just happened. Right. Anyways, new stuff. Go ahead.
Oh, excuse me. I win 10 points. Okay, so one big thing. So I built my computer.
I heard about that. I don't know. I guess I wasn't invited. I saw myself out of the conversation.
No. You know that I have built my computer that I've had for 5 years.
Just kidding. Yep.
And I was noticing some lag because, side note, we are starting our new campaign. Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden.
Mm-hmm.
You were part of that. Got our little D&D.
I've heard about it. I've definitely heard about it.
Yeah, it's we're starting it on Tuesday.
Quick side
So
note,
very
I have a
excited.
character who's a rock gnome barbarian, and I do not have a name. Coolest name in the comments wins, and
Oh
that
my
will
God.
be the name.
That
so
would be
everybody
awesome.
listening, please comment a
'Cause-
cool name.
Because as the DM, it's really annoying to write a story when I don't have a name to go with. So right now his name's No Name. Which
Yeah,
is fine.
like hero with no name is the name.
I'm calling him
So,
No Name. But yes,
coolest
pick a
name in the comments.
Coolest one.
Wins. That will be my D&D character's name.
But anyway, so I'm doing that, right? So it's a lot more computer work, and I noticed my stuff's getting a little slow. And I kind of looked into it, and Chrome's actually quite a big browser. It does suck a lot of stuff. So I noticed that with just having 2 windows up, or 3, I have 3 screens, so 3 windows up, and like Discord, Chrome was using like 70%
Oh, that's
of
bad.
my RAM.
That's really
and I'm
bad.
like, what the fuck? And then I looked back at my build, and I put like the minimum, very minimum
Like
requirements.
8.
It was 16.
Oh, 16 is minimum
So
would be
I
like
know-
8.
Yeah, it would be 8, but I put an extra 8 in there, and I'm like, all right. So I was talking to our buddy Boots, Joe, and I'm like, dude, I gotta upgrade my system, and he goes, oh, it'd be a good time to put that M.2 hard drive in there. I got a 2 terabyte hard drive that I didn't put in initially.
Yep.
And I just kept it at 500 gigs, which again, I'm already losing space. Like if we find a new game to play or something, I literally have to like go through all my stuff and uninstall. And do
Which
all
is
stuff.
why I don't download Call of Duty, because it's 500 gigabytes.
It's
Takes up
insane.
half the.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I can't.
Yeah,
do
no,
it. So,
literally, like I won't do it.
So I like looked. I go, oh yeah, that's right. Well, I bought that when I was gonna build my computer, and I forgot to put it in. So I never did. So then I was like looking for it, and I found it. So we put in
Was it
new
in the box with
storage
the
in
VR?
there. Yeah. Yeah. So I found it, put that in, and then I updated my graphics card as well. I went from a 950 all the way up to a 3060, which is still like super, like it's not top.
I think it's a pretty big upgrade, though.
But
That's
it's
a
a
huge
incredible
jump. That's
upgrade.
like, yeah.
Oh, it's nuts. So then
That's like from like the 50s to the 90s.
Yeah.
Like
so that's
in
what I
timeline era, you know.
did. So that's what I did yesterday, and it went well. Everything turned back on. We got everything going, and it's way better now.
All right, at least
So
as
that's
long as it's not
exciting.
the heat sink, you know, because you know it could
Yeah.
cause your computer overheat. I know a lot about that
Yeah, I
because
know
that
you
happened
do.
with mine.
I know you do.
And dude, I was freaking out because I'm like, dude, we pay for this internet. Why is this lagging? I couldn't play games, and the next thing you know, like we started, like I called my buddy Boots over, Joe, and he's like, well, let me run this test thing I got, and we ran it, and he's like, oh, and like, dude, it like everything was running great, and then as soon as he started the thing, it was just like. Like I mean, like
Yeah.
moving in a snail's pace. And he's like, "Yeah, I think this is the problem. We literally swapped out the heat sink and bada bing, bada boom."
And
There you
honestly,
go.
if you guys build your computers, you can get a lot more for about the same amount of money.
Oh yeah,
Like it's crazy if you were to build them, or if you bought something smaller, and you get the schematics, and you're able to upgrade what you can. Dude, it's way cheaper. It's
no, that's awesome.
it's
though,
nice.
dude.
But
That's
anyway,
sick.
so
I'm
that was
excited.
one thing. D&D
Hey,
is the second thing.
With a new computer, though, you can edit some of these episodes. Look for maybe some new edits.
That was the other thing.
Oh, sorry.
No. Well,
My
okay.
ADHD brain
So
just.
that was the other thing. I was
tries
gonna
to-
start to. I'm gonna start recording just a few videos of myself, and then practice doing.
I could be in the videos with you.
All right. I like it. Oh, for the podcast. Yeah, no, for the podcast ones too. But yeah, no, yeah, it's so I'm gonna try that. Try my hand at that, and try to just figure out the little thing.
Well, shoot, I don't know a lot about editing, but we can figure it out. I could help you. I can show you what I know.
Yeah.
And
But
then
I was looking at new cam, and then oh yeah, so I was walking by it, and this it might be the same one, but I was walking through the store with Joe as I was picking up my parts, and walked by, open box, Best Buy, half price,
for the
100
Logitech
100
Brio.
no, for the monitor.
Oh, this one.
I needed
the Samsung.
I needed to upgrade my monitor. Yeah, it's a Samsung monitor. I don't know. I
So
can't remember
this
the model, but
this is a actual like monitor, but I use it strictly for video games. Like so, it's
Yeah.
only for the games, like through the capture card and stuff.
yeah,
But yeah, it technically like I could put it right in there, and it's programmed to be a monitor.
yeah. So like there was a monitor that was like it was bigger than the one I had, and I had like a shitty. I don't even know the name of it. Just one that I had. I'm like, well, I got to upgrade anyway. I see that. I take 2 more steps. Discount on or sale on ARMs for the monitors. So I'm like, well, I'm here. So I bought that too.
When in
Dude.
Rome.
I'm not. So it's one of the ones that look like this, and then like you can kind of like direct it how you want it to be. So and it takes everything off my fucking desk.
Dude,
I don't have to worry about stands and shit.
taking the
So
mic
now they're
stand
mounted.
off my desk alone was
Dude,
like,
it's now I like it. When I sat there yesterday, once I got everything all done and installed and cleaned, I looked. I'm like, all right, this is happening. Like I'm gonna be, I got all my stuff. So now I
big
can,
time.
like gaming a little bit more now that I don't have to worry about like leg issues and stuff. I got a nice monitor. I don't have to worry that it's on a certain one. And then when it comes to Tuesday, we'll be doing our D&D.
Dude, that's awesome, man.
So anyway, that's another big thing that I was really excited about. I was able to.
Well, shoot, dude, that's what's up, man.
So-
You should have started your week off, not that your wife left her drawers open and,
It's just
sorry, I don't
that's
mean to
what's
circle-
most recent in brain today.
I don't mean to
And we were
circle
just
back
talking
to the
about-
negative, but
I know, but we were just talking about the ADHD thing. So now I got to put my wife and I we just got to communicate now more that anything I try is now we're both trying because
yeah, absolutely, dude. No, like I said, nothing really new with me. Just grinding out the YouTube guys. If you don't already, maybe
Hell yeah.
right here. Check out the chest. Tattooed. I'm just kidding. Maybe first tattoo, mid-80.
oh, I forgot you don't have a tattoo.
I have one tattoo. It's on the inside of my thigh. Actually, it's a squirrel reaching up on the inside of my
He
thigh.
makes me draw it every
for
week.
the nuts.
Makes me draw it every week with henna ink.
Hey, are you done yet? Now you're just having fun down there. Come on.
Could have showered before you did this.
No, honestly though, that's been such a running joke. I think that will be my first tattoo. Like if I ever decide to just
It would
go
be
ahead and do it,
hilarious.
like that will be the first tattoo.
And go big. Don't get a little one.
No, and I'm thinking squirrel, like not like the squirrel from Ice Age, but like a more of a cartoony kind of.
I have seen the one. I have seen the Ice Age one. Some guys done that, but yeah, just like squirrel, like literally like have one already, and then he's reaching for the other one. Like that'd be funny.
Oh yeah, like he has one here, and he's just
And I forgot the last thing, which literally is what we're wearing. I forgot. I didn't even see you put the fucking shorts on.
What?
I didn't even notice.
We're wearing the same thing,
dude. I didn't even notice you were
come
wearing the same
on.
shorts.
Well, one of us has to
I saw you
change.
had that on. I'm like, all right, we got this. I just fucking looked. They're wearing the same thing.
One of us has to change.
Unzip me.
Unzip me.
So Dragon Ball Z. So, again, random TikTok. Some guys like, this is how it starts. He just goes, every kid out there needs to watch Dragon Ball Z. And let me tell you. And he goes, let me tell you why. And I like listen to 10 seconds. I'm like, kids are watching Dragon Ball Z. I mean, they were going to anyway.
Yes.
But the way he went on for like 3 minutes and talked about all of the other like. They're really trying the teamwork, looking out for other people,
The character
and like
development,
Goku's relatively respectful to a lot of people, and like he's fair, and like it was crazy video to listen to, and so then the last 2 weeks now, because everybody's been fucking sick, we started Dragon Ball Z. So we're on like episode, I think we're like on episode 35. Maybe.
What is that, like Saiyans land on Earth?
So Saiyans land, Goku's kicking the shit
Wait, are
out
you
of
watching
Nappa.
Kai or you what like OG?
No, we're
Dragon
watching
Ball?
OG.
So like you get all the filler, like where he gets like eaten by the snake on Snake Way, and like
Yep, all that.
okay.
So
and he falls down to hell and
Yep. So yeah, they met oh fuck, I forgot their names already. But yeah, they just met those guys. And it's like the old school one, like in the other ones they changed it to HEL.
Yep.
But this
so
one is
actually
HE.
says hell.
It actually says hell.
Yes.
So but yeah, so we were watching that, and they're already picking up on a lot of stuff, and like when Gohan, they're fighting Nappa, and Piccolo and Krillin are trying to, and Tien, they're all trying to like fight Nappa, and they have like a plan to get him, and then Gohan's supposed to give the final shot
and
to
he
him,
freaks out.
and he freaks out, and he
Yep.
cries, and he does, and Piccolo's just like, he's like, just go home to your mom. Like just
just
like,
get
you're
out
not
of
gonna
here.
be here. Clearly, you're
Yep.
not ready. I know you are, but you're clearly not. Whatever.
Pretty much calling him a
And
pussy.
yeah, he did. And like I'm like, I fucking remember this. Like I still hear
Dude.
Piccolo in my head. And then like kids are like, I go, so what's going on? And I ask questions. So I was always like, so what do you think? And he's like, I think Gohan. He just was really scared. But I think he feels really bad that he didn't do what he was supposed to do. And
Dude,
I was like,
that's
absolutely.
awesome.
So like, and they're getting it. And yeah, so Goku just showed up. and he just put a little whooping on Nappa right now. So I know.
And the flying Nimbus comes and saves Gohan from being crushed by Nappa's foot. And
Exactly. Yep.
And he's
We're
just like,
right there.
He's like, Nimbus?
Yep.
Dude, I can like, dude, I'm getting goosebumps.
Like, yeah, dude.
That was like, oh man, okay, like I know
we're watching it later today too. So
I know we're past our time,
yes,
but
sorry everybody.
The newest game that I'm doing, guys, on my series Platinums from the Past, where I dig up my old video games and get those platinum trophies, that I never gave the time to or just never finished. We rolled a Dragon Ball Z game, and I was like, gosh, another DBZ game, right? Because this is like the third or fourth one that I've gotten a platinum for. So I'm like, all right, we're going to get this one.
Yes, but which game?
And this one is Ultimate Tenkaichi, right? And so
such a good game.
When I'm sitting there playing
all three of them,
and like as you're going through the story mode, like you obviously don't fight every single fight. You don't fly. There's obviously like it scrolls through the text to kind of do the filler stuff. But like you hit certain points, like key points, and like dude, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. But like Brienne was sitting here watching me the other day, and it was like Goku turning Super Saiyan for the first time. I was like, oh my god! And like I was just watching, he's just like, Krillin,
well, like when he's
Krillin and Vegeta for him to cry those tears, and like and like I was like, oh my god, I'm getting goosebumps. And Brienne's like, why? I'm like, dude, this is a staple of my childhood right here, like dude. And I just got like,
took like 150 episodes to get to that point.
Right, and then it took 3 episodes just for him to transform. And then, it was insane, dude. And I was just like, oh my god. And it's been that way the whole time. Like, there's been, like, where Piccolo, like, Nappa's about to blast Gohan. And then Piccolo's just like, oh, and, like, looks. And then, like, the flashbacks, and he runs in front and just,
and he
like,
takes all the whole
the blast.
And I didn't know this. But now that I'm going back, I get to hear, I'm listening to all the dialogue that I didn't.
Yeah, you didn't, pay attention.
But like when Piccolo's dying, and he's looking at him, he's like, Goku or Gohan, you've been like, really
my only friend,
and whatever.
My only friend.
But he goes, you were like the son I never had. And I didn't know he actually said that. We all like make the joke that
dude, that's why Piccolo's
his real dad. Like he's a better dad than Goku. Ha ha ha. But like he actually says that like you're the son I never had, and I was like, holy fuck! Like I'm getting crushed again watching it with my kids. But I'm like, holy shit, this is amazing. So anyway, those are the only things I wanted to talk about. I'm glad we could get those in like
we talked about nonsense for the last hour, and then the last 5 minutes just oh my god. But anyways, all right, well we'll wrap it up here, guys. A little bit longer episode. I know we're trying to shoot for those 45 minutes, but we're only meeting once every other week to do these, so sometimes it gets a little out of hand.
Which with that, I mean, I know there's probably time frames, but I think like if maybe we go to like an hour 15 or something.
maybe we do like 45 to an hour. We'll try to keep it I think in that range, because I don't know. I look at it as like my attention span. Would I be able to sit down and listen to something for an hour? Sure. How many times would I have to come back? Pardon me, just to finish.
Yeah, but we're amazing.
We are amazing. And
I know every one of our listeners listens to the very end.
Yep, and if you guys did, type. No, I'm just kidding.
If you did,
type beefsteak in the comments. No, I'm just kidding.
It is upside down pineapple. And there you go. They got to type that in the chat.
I do like pineapple upside down cake, though. Anyways, besides that.
So let's talk about cakes. No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, guys, thank you everyone for listening and supporting, guys. Like I said, we are back. We are on a good schedule. I think every other week is a great pace, because that gives us, that gives us a time frame of like, hey, just in case something happens, we can be ahead, we can be behind, like, but we're right in that range, right? Like, so
hopefully next time we'll be able to talk about your true thoughts on the first session.
Oh,
I'm willing to come. I'm willing to come. I'll bring a notepad, and I'm
notepad and ears open, dude. And I'll give you the God's honest opinion.
We promise you won't get mad.
Of mid-80. Next time on ADHDad, she fuck this. I'm out. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, just throw a snippet in there, dude. That'd be hilarious.
All right. Anyways, all right. Big shout out Shane Gillis.
Yeah,
Joe Rogan Experience, guys.
I just showed you Kyle Kinane.
Yeah,
dude, very good.
Oh my god, that was hilarious.
That was very funny.
Jacket was blowing in the wind from the cars passing.
He looked amazing.
Hotel California played on the.
It was perfect.
It was perfect.
Anyway.
Anyways, all right.
Yeah. Well, everybody have a great day.
Yeah, we've been ending with kind of a motivational quote.
Ending,
and I don't have a motivational quote for you guys, but
cool.
I'm
not prepared either.
Kind of a. Something for you guys. Biggest takeaway for this month: don't be afraid to say no. Say yes to something. Try something new. Get out there. Let us know in the comments what you tried new.
Except drugs. Can we just
Don't do drugs.
And if you really don't want to do it, don't say yes to those either.
But try
But
something
yes.
new,
Yes.
right? Like, get out there. I challenge everybody
Yep.
to go out and do something new in these next 2 weeks, and let us know in the comments what it was that you were trying new. Like, out of the blue, whether it be cooking a new recipe, whether it be walking a new path, whether it be, buying a new car, whatever
Both
it is.
Metaphorically and
Literally.
physically. Yeah,
Like,
literally.
yeah. Whatever it may be. Try something new. Get out. I challenge everybody here. And you know what? I'm going to talk about something that I tried new. And Chief is going to try something new.
I'm going to try something new this week.
And we're going to talk about it next week on the podcast. So
Sounds good.
try something new. Let us know what it was. And we will see you guys next time.
All right.
All
Everybody
right.
have a great night.
Peace.